Yeah, we are back with another live stream. I know it's been quite a while. I definitely did not mean to go missing for as long as I did go missing, but I am happy to be back and happy to be back with the Beehive doing Reddit stories. There has actually been a couple of lawsuits that have been interesting over the last couple of months, but we didn't get a chance to get into it. Diddy got sentenced. I missed all of that. So I am so sorry to the Beehive. As you can see, there's a lot going on. You'll see the background is a little bit different because the studio is now split with working from home. So this is going to be changing over some time. And like I said, I did not mean to go missing in action for so long, but I'm hoping that we can have more of a consistent schedule moving forward. And we got things to talk about later on, but not in this stream. But today we are going to be talking about some Reddit stories where it's all about my house, my rules, because it gets a little funky and tricky when people move in with you, or even if you just have kids and they're forced to live with you because you know that's a requirement. They don't really like to follow the rules when they're in your house. So today we're going to be going through some Reddit stories to talk about whether these people are out of line with the rules that they're making for the people that they are allowing to be in their house, or if the people that are there as visitors, as guests, as the extra people in the house not paying the bills most of the time, if they're the ones tripping in this. So I know I've been gone for long enough, so we're just going to jump right into it. And please bear with me because I'm a little bit rusty and we got to find Bossy B and get us in there. If you're watching on the live stream, make sure you guys are dropping in the chat, letting us know what your thoughts are on these stories, what you would do in the situation. And if you're watching on the replay, then make sure you guys are dropping in the comment section your thoughts and everything on the case, or not on the case. Why do I say the case? But anyways, let's go. Ooh, I'm rusty and already out of breath. So there's that. Okay. So we got the first story being, am I the a-hole for cleaning out the fridge without telling my husband? Now, this one is a bit strange because you wouldn't think that you would need to announce to your husband that you're cleaning out the fridge. So I think we're going to have the chats going in the poll, or the poll going in the chat if Kimmy is able to get them up. So if you're on the live stream, make sure you are voting in that. So we got, am I the a-hole for cleaning out the fridge without telling my husband? My husband brought home a metal box that he checks on often during the day when it's in the fridge. We're already getting off to a weird start, y'all. When asked about it, he said it contained freshly picked olives his friend Jason got for him from his uncle's farm and wanted husband to keep them till he gets back from his business trip. I never known of olives that needed to be watched and protected until someone gets back from a trip. Like, just put them in your freaking refrigerator. I had no problem with him keeping it safe at the bottom of the fridge. Husband always asked me to be cautious with the box and not open it as if it'd be rude to touch other people's stuff. Yesterday, I decided to clean out the fridge, which took me about 2 hours from unplugging the fridge, emptying all the items, groceries, vegetables, and containers, and washing and cleaning out the inside of it, letting it settle before plugging it back in. I took the box my husband brought out of the fridge and placed it on the kitchen island along with other containers. While I was working, I received a video call via WhatsApp from my husband while he was at work feeling bored and asked what I was doing. Isn't it odd that he just happened to FaceTime her this day? I wonder if it's like common for him to randomly FaceTime her, or if he just felt like maybe he has a camera pointing towards the fridge protecting his box. I don't know. I showed him I was cleaning out the fridge and he suddenly freaked out and asked, what about the metal box? I was confused, so I told him to calm down and showed him where the box was. He got mad, telling me I shouldn't have cleaned out the fridge nor even touched the box without telling him. Again, I don't think it's necessary to announce to your husband when you're cleaning out the fridge, but hey, something in this box, olives apparently in this box. He got mad, telling me I shouldn't have cleaned out the fridge nor even touched the box without telling him. I again tried to ask him to calm down as I saw no big deal with that. His precious box was safe and sound, but he went on a rant about how the box needed to be back inside the fridge ASAP and told me to plug the fridge in right then, but I couldn't because it was wet and I still wasn't finished cleaning the other parts. Apparently, this pissed him off he said I was stalling, and he hung up, and 30 minutes later he came home and pitched a hissy fit saying I should have picked a time where he was at home to clean out the fridge so he could take the box somewhere else to keep it cool. Is this like a body part at this point? Because I don't think olives are that serious. I really don't. But let's see. So what if it was sitting out of the fridge for barely 2 hours and olives can stand being outside the fridge for longer periods? He said, I don't get it. And he took the box, he took the box and left with it. I asked where he was taking it, and he said he needed to go back to work and had no time to explain. I shrugged this whole thing off, but he came back with it in the evening and put it inside the fridge and complained about me cleaning the fridge without telling him and acting dismissive of his opinions. I don't think those are opinions. This guy is kind of tripping. I argued what opinions could he have with cleaning out the fridge exactly? Like, why do I need to announce that? He argued back saying he promised Jason he'd keep his olives in good condition. What kind of olives are these? Like, is olives a code word for something else? He promised Jason that he'll keep these olives in good conditions and that I should have just told him, end of story. I wonder if I messed up. He usually doesn't get mad unless I messed up, and I think I have. I don't know, lady. She has some edits to kind of explain some more things, but I just don't think these are olives anymore at this point. And I would really like to know if olives is like a code word for, like, human body parts, drugs, anything. I have no idea. I have no idea what he could be talking about. So first, she says, first of all, I'm aware that my husband acting overprotective of this box, but he always acts like that whenever someone asks him to keep an item safe for them, like furniture or car parts. And second of all, no, I haven't seen those olives myself and haven't opened the box because I didn't think I'd even have to. But husband tends to be overprotective of his friends' belongings, so I didn't give it much thought. I don't know. I think he might be hiding a head or something in there, because that is kind of ridiculous over some olives. And why does he get so protective over other people's stuff? She further adds, because many were wondering, yes, I unplugged the fridge before cleaning it, basically saying that it's some type of cleaning, a cleaning method, that we don't need that information. So let's see what the people of Reddit has to say about this, and maybe OP gives us some information. I don't remember seeing her give us more information about what's going on with this fridge, and then we'll jump into the YouTube comments or chat. So if you guys have something to say, make sure you are dropping it in the chat, and let's see what Reddit thinks about these olives. And do you think that you should have to announce to the people living in your house when you're going to clean the fridge? And I can definitely understand if she threw the olives away or something happened to them. But no, she literally cleaned the fridge. It was fine, less than 2 hours. I think that olives can last for 2 hours. It probably shouldn't have been as big of a deal to make it to where he came home and took the olives back with him to work. I think that is a bit extreme, but y'all let me know in the comments. So we got someone saying, am I the only reader thinking there is some type of drug in the box? Your husband is acting very strange about these olives. They put in quotation marks. You're not the a-hole, but your husband sure is. Everyone, they said thanks to everyone for the awards, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this person is thinking that potentially there could be drugs in this box. I don't know. Someone else comments and says, everyone sucks here. I don't know. They say you're the a-hole. To all of us poor souls reading this post for taking all your husband's super sketch behavior at face value and never once looking in the box so you could tell us what's in there. Yes, okay, I can agree on that one with everybody sucks here, because why did you not look in the box so that we could have some type of closure to this story? And your husband is the a-hole for stashing those body parts. That's what I think it is. And your husband is the a-hole for stashing those body parts in the family fridge instead of a Rubbermaid container in some random storage unit where they belong. Because why are you so pressed about these olives being out of the fridge for freaking 2 hours? Like, what are these special olives from this uncle's farm? Like, are they drugs? Are they drugs, or are they human body parts? Someone responds and says, anyone who's processed anyone who's processed olives would tell you you keep them at room temperature. So they're not even supposed to be in the fridge, according to this Redditor. You process them in a non-reactive container like plastic or glass, not anything metal. Don't know what this guy has stashed in your fridge, but you should worry. I kind of agree. Well, I don't know about olives and their processing, but this person apparently is an expert on olives and doesn't think that they should be stored in the fridge or in a metal box, if anything. Someone else responds to that and said, OP sits on the couch casually scrolling through her phone. Hey, hun, Google says you need to process olives at room temp. What is it? Before freezes, or I guess husband freezes, it's a new olive variety. You know how they now have cotton candy, grapes, and all the different apples? It's just like that, exactly like that. So basically saying that the husband would make an excuse if she brought up what these Redditors are saying, that olives are not even supposed to be in the fridge to begin with. I don't eat olives, so I don't know. I don't know whether people keep them in the fridge or not. And we'll do this last one and then we'll jump into YouTube comments and then we'll get into the poll. We have the other commenter saying, I live in Greece and I guarantee you it's not olives. They are completely fine being stored at room temperature for around 6 to 8 months. So this guy is flipping out over these olives. I don't know how many times I've said olives on this stream, but it's kind of strange. You should absolutely look in the box because he's hiding something. Yeah. So I don't know. How do you look? Okay, here's OP. Says, that's what I told him in response to the one saying that it can be stored at room temperature. OP says, that's what I told him. Olives can be stored outside the fridge, but because of how he's kept insisting, I didn't know for sure. And I didn't want to keep arguing since it was useless. It might not be useless. There may be a body in your fridge, ma'am, and you need to check that. You need to figure that out. So that's my only comment that I'm really seeing from OP on this. Someone says it's probably drugs, human body parts, or olives. Someone responds to olive, one olive the size of a human fist, inside of which is a human fist holding the black bag of heroin. Yeah, so I don't know what this guy is doing. I have no idea what this guy is doing, but I do not think that it's olives. I don't see OP ever coming out and telling us what is in this box. So I guess we'll never know. And that commenter was correct in saying that both of them suck because she won't tell us what it is and he is hiding a body part. Okay. So let's see what the YouTube comments have to say. Rehab comments have to say. Kimmy Locker, I don't know why you're saying, did you add that to your name? RH1PS? Did you add that to your name or is YouTube doing weird things? I don't know. Anyways, Kimmy says life happens, but it's great to be back with the Beehive. Yes, of course. Yeah, that was from my apology earlier for going missing in action. Thank you. Glad to have you back, Kimmy, our member, member moderator, consultant of the channel, paralegal, helping us get the polls up so that everybody can vote. Nice to have you back. And thanks for hanging in there with me. Kimmy says, okay, but what's actually in the box? I can't tell if his hissy fit is better or worse if it's truly olives in it. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's not olives. It can't be olives, right? Like, there's no way you're getting that pressed about olives, and then especially with all the people saying that olives do not have to be in the fridge. Someone in the comments here says, even if we buy into this idea that it's olives, these olives need to be refrigerated. Why the F wouldn't Jason be able to keep the olives in his fridge during his business trip? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why does he need to keep an eye on these olives? Why does he need to keep an eye on these olives? Why can Jason not just put them in his fridge and then come home to his olives? Like, do he need to water these olives on a daily basis? That doesn't make any sense. Kimmy says a head would feel heavier and different than olives, but toes might be comparable. Question mark. Absolutely, I didn't think that far. Might be fingers and toes. And she hasn't looked in the box. That's what's really bothering me. That is really bothering me. Uncivil Law, hello, welcome in. I don't know if you're still here saying hi, hello. Nice to see you in the chat. We got Kimmy saying hi to Uncivil. And then we got Kimmy saying YouTube's been doing weird things. Yeah, it's only on your name though. Well, only Uncivil has also commented, but yours I don't know why it says that. It's kind of weird. So let's go ahead and check out the polls. See if we only got one vote. So only one person's voice matters here. If you're watching on the live, make sure you guys are voting in the poll what you think on the story. But I know some people came in late and we're going to start on the next story in a second. So you'll have an opportunity to vote then. So am I the a-hole for cleaning out the fridge without telling my husband? No, someone else is the a-hole. I agree. The husband is the a-hole for hiding these random body parts in the fridge and being very possessive and rigid over these olives. I agree with the commenter, like his olives can stay at Jason's fridge, or does he just unplug his fridge when he goes on these trips? I don't know. It's very strange behavior in my opinion. Uncivil Law says, I heard something about olives. Yes, I like olives in my martinis. Am I helping? No, this guy is basically storing olives in a metal box and he is being very kind of I keep losing the word of what he's being weird about these olives. So we think that he's hiding a body part in there. Destined to be moderator of the channel. Welcome back. Nice to have you. Saying, hey, Bree Hive, hello and welcome back. We are about to jump into the next story that we have. Do we want Bossy B to bring it in? It's been a while. She's been on vacation. So yeah, let's have Bossy B bring us. All right. Yeah, I'm rusty. I completely forgot to bookmark the first time when we started. So whatever, we'll figure that out when we're doing timestamps later. Again, if you guys are watching on the live stream, make sure that you are dropping in the chat your thoughts on the story. And Kimmy is also putting up polls in the chat so that you can vote on whether you think these people are the a-hole. The theme for today is My House, My Rules. We had some weird olive guy and whether the wife needs to announce when she's cleaning out the fridge. And now we're moving on to, am I the a-hole for locking my daughter out of her room? This is going to depend on why you're locking your daughter out of your room. This one is going to be a live reaction, y'all, because I really didn't read this one. So hopefully it's actually good. So am I the a-hole for locking my daughter out of her room? I have 3 daughters, oldest Ava, middle Emma, or let's do the ages. Oldest Ava, 18, middle Emma, 16, and the youngest Lily, 12. Ava and Lily, so the oldest and the youngest, are both very talkative and social. Emma used to be like that when she was little. So the middle used to be like that, but she's not like that anymore. We used to call her CNN because she'd tell everyone everything. If she heard me say I gained 5 pounds, she's going to tell grandma. That's not somebody you want in your household, right? If we bought someone a gift, she'd tell them the price, where and when we got it. She told us to stop calling her that, but we felt it wasn't a big deal. So they're calling her CNN, basically saying that she talks too much or like she's a news reporter, right? She doesn't like being called that. Eventually, she stopped talking so much and started staying in her room all day. She leaves her school, then goes straight into her room when she gets home and won't come out until dinner. I want her to be more outgoing and talkative like her sisters, and her sisters, my husband and I started telling her she needs to get out of her room. It was to the point where she'd sleep at her grandparents' house and none of us would notice because she's so quiet, they don't even notice when she leaves anymore. Over quarantine, she never left her room except for food, water, and to go to the bathroom. We asked her why she never comes out to hang out with us, and she said her sisters are loud and obnoxious and she doesn't like to be around them. We felt that was very rude and grounded her. Her sisters are loud and like to do things like loudly sing and yell songs on and play rap music, which Emma hates, but she sings musical songs in her room, so we feel it's about even. And they're not doing anything to her. Emma went to sleep at her grandparents' house on Wednesday, and while she was gone, I locked the door on her room. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say that mom is the a-hole. I have the only key. When Emma came back and couldn't get into her room, I told her she was going to hang out with us. She was furious. She called her grandparents to pick her up and hasn't spoken to me since. Am I the a-hole for trying to get my daughter to spend time with us? They edit to add, I realized the timeline wasn't clear. Everyone's saying she's quiet because she's a teenager and she's been quiet and reserved since she was probably about 8. So she stopped being CNN around 8 years old. rather than being a moody teenager, which it sounds like the comments are saying. And she's allowed to go to her grandparents' house whenever she wants. She still talks to them, but refuses to talk to us. She's been staying at their house since Wednesday, and people are saying to learn about her interests. She loves musical theater. We all think it's annoying and hate the songs and refuse to watch the videos and don't talk about it. And you wonder why she doesn't want to hang out with you. She doesn't like the songs that you guys are singing, and you don't like the songs that she is singing. And then you're calling her CNN, making her feel probably awkward. So I'm gonna say that mom is the a-hole here. They go on to say, and people are saying we need to learn about the interest. We already got that. They said update Emma's Emma's grandpa came today to get the rest of Emma's clothes and her medicines. He told us she's trying to get emancipated and they've uninvited us for Thanksgiving. I hope y'all are happy now. We're not the one that brought this to the internet. You brought this to the internet. We had nothing to do with this, okay? So how are you going to get mad at the redditors, at the people on YouTube judging your life because your daughter moved out and doesn't want to talk to you? She's 16. She asked you to stop calling her CNN. You guys kept being a bully to her. She doesn't like the things that you guys do, and you don't like the things that she do. Like, what do you expect? Why would she want to hang out with you? Let me know what y'all thoughts are. We are going to jump into the comments on Reddit and then jump into the comments on YouTube. So if you got things to say, make sure you're dropping it in the chat, and also make sure you're voting in the poll. So you TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, wherever we are, okay? We're on Reddit. The 16-year-old doesn't want to hang out with the family. First comment says, you're the a-hole. You mocked and made fun of your young daughter for being herself. She asked you to stop because she didn't like it, and you decided that her feelings weren't valid and continue. Then when she decided to say, F this mess, since my mother hates who I am, I'll be someone else. So she stopped talking to everyone all the time, and now you're mad at her for that too. All that makes you an a-hole, but you compound this by deciding that enjoying some peace in the house with 5 people isn't okay and locked her out of her bedroom. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be surprised if she packs all her stuff in the middle of the night when she has access to it and leaves. And frankly, she should until you get your stuff together and start treating her like an individual instead of a mismatched part of your box set. They updated to say, I'm thrilled. I'm so glad that Emma is getting away from this lifetime of abuse you have inflicted on her. I'm glad she has grandparents who sees the abuse and for what it is rather than defending the abusive a-hole offspring. I hope she is able to heal and have a great life. I definitely agree with that. They kind of created the situation. Y'all said she talked too much, so she stopped talking. Now y'all saying she don't talk enough. And not only do you say that she doesn't talk enough, you also hate all her interests. So you want her to hang out with you guys and do what you like to do, even though you know she doesn't like to do what you like to do. And you don't want to do anything that she likes to do because you think what she does is annoying. I mean, you wrote it out. Like, why are you not comprehending what you're saying? I don't get it. Someone comments and says, are you a troll? You constantly belittle her, tell her to be someone she's not, don't notice a single thing positive about her, and then wonder why she doesn't want to be around you. Yes, you're the a-hole big time. This is the way to ensure you don't have a relationship with her at all. Definitely agree with that. Let's see. We got someone else says, you're the a-hole. I have the only key. When Emma came back and couldn't get into her room, I told her she was going to hang out with us. She was furious. She called her grandparents to pick her up and hasn't spoken to me since. They say your daughter values her alone time and you decided to take it away from her, and you thought it would make her want to spend time with you. Do you see how much that backfired? She basically quarantined herself, stayed away from them, and it's still a problem no matter what she does, essentially, is what this person is saying. So whew. Okay, let's see what the YouTube comments have to say. Oh, y'all having a conversation. I don't want to put that on blast. So Kimmy says, OP is definitely the a-hole who talks about their daughter and her interests like that. Yeah, it sounds like they hate her and they want her to conform to what they like to do. And they don't want to conform to what she likes to do. She just kind of seems like she doesn't fit in with the family anymore. Like, yeah, it was cool when everybody was talking, but y'all thought what she was talking about was annoying. So she stopped talking. I don't see what they're confused about. So everyone in the Reddit comment seems to agree that she told you, and at a young age, sounds like around 8 years old, she asked you to stop doing that because she didn't like it, and you just ignored what she had to say. So I agree. I agree. Let's see what the poll has to say. We got, am I the a-hole for locking my daughter out of her room? I thought maybe mom will be justified, but no, I'm going to say, the answer is yes, OP is a-hole. And this time we got 2 votes. So 2 people agreed 100% that OP is the a-hole. Y'all make sure y'all are voting. Kimmy is doing all this work, putting these polls up for us. So make sure you guys are voting in the chat and letting us know what you think about the stories as we go through. Let's jump into the next. I was going to jump into the next live stream. Jump into the next story. Let's have Bossy B do it again because she was on vacation. Okay. So next one is, am I the a-hole for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I'm not a barista? When you have a daughter-in-law, seems like they're old enough to make their own coffee, but let's see. Okay. So my son and daughter-in-law, Emily, are staying in our home probably for the next month due to water damage in their home. The company is fixing the damage, but the flooring was damaged. So it's not very livable. Thank you for using the word damage so many times. They have only been here less than a week and I'm having an issue. Geez Louise, only 1 week. I work nights and I come back around 6:30 a.m. and then go to bed. My husband is usually up, so I make him coffee/breakfast before I turn in. Just something I like to do, more quality time before he heads to work. I asked my son and Emily if they would like coffee or breakfast before they go to work. They said no to food, but yes to coffee. That was easy, and I just made 2 extra cups. I asked them to tell me if they want me to change how I make their coffee. I thought they would just tell me use this cream or if they had a preference on the blend. Emily texted me last night and said she left instructions for her coffee. So whole instructions. She couldn't just tell you about it. This morning, I came home to a very detailed instructions on how to make a complex coffee. It was like a Starbucks drink, and she wanted foam milk on the top, different serves, a specific coffee bean, ground fresh, and a different brewing method. We have a drip coffee machine. Most of the stuff was on the counter. I decided I wasn't doing that and just made a normal coffee. Emily wasn't happy and we got into an argument before she went to work. I basically told her I'm not a Starbucks barista and I'm not going to do all of that, as you should. Who's going to do all that when they get off of work? You're not a barista? Has she ever even seen you make a coffee that way to think that you know how to do that? Like foam the milk when I'm getting off of work? Ma'am, no way. She told me I shouldn't have offered in the first place if I wouldn't make the coffee to her liking. We left on a sour note. I bet you did. I'm surprised you didn't cuss her out a little bit more than that, because what is she talking about? I have been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable, and so I'm having trouble sleeping at the moment. Should I just make the coffee? No, I wouldn't. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This lady is off her rocker to think that she's going to move into OP's mom's house and have her become her own personal Starbucks barista for free after she's getting off of work. I can understand if it was like a weekend thing and the mom would make like craft coffees. I don't know. Excuse me, what would you call those? But to ask her to do that when she's getting off of work is crazy. Y'all make sure y'all are dropping your thoughts in the chat if you're watching on the live. If you're on the replay, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let's go ahead and jump into these Reddit comments and we'll get into the YouTube chats and then we will check out the poll. So if you're watching live, make sure you're also voting in the poll. So let's see. First comment says, if your son's doubling down like that, sounds like it's time for him and his entitled wife to seek new accommodations. And mind you, they have only been there for less than a week. I mean, could mom have been a little bit more specific and saying like, just let me know if you want some different type of coffee blend or whatever. But for them to think that she was going to come and do all of that when she gets off of work is crazy. Someone comments under that and says, yep, they can have fun dealing with their insurance and get put into a hotel room if OP wants to do this. From my experience, it sucks so much. So OP, you were really doing them a favor. As far as having your house have some type of issue and being put into a hotel and that's living with family is basically better than being put into a hotel by the insurance, because they're probably gonna get you a cheap hotel. Not only that, so OP comments to that and says, I don't believe this is a kick out offense. I already sent them this post, so I will not kick them out. Maybe if this situation gets worse, maybe if this situation gets worse, she'll kick him out. So we will have a conversation when everyone is back from work. I need to go to sleep. So thanks everyone that replied. Let me see. So she doesn't go much further into that one. Let's see what else we got. We got not the a-hole. I can't imagine being so entitled. You're making her coffee. You're just not devoting a ton of extra time to make her some sort of fancy drink. If it's that important to her, she should get up earlier and do it herself. And it sounds like she wasn't even doing it herself to begin with. So how are you going to get mad that the mother-in-law doesn't want to do it when she's getting off of work? Or even period, she doesn't want to do it. And not only does she not want to do it, she probably doesn't even know how to do it. It's like, what are you asking for? Someone says, I have been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable. They said, or maybe your son can get up earlier and role play a barista for his spoiled wife. Yeah, like, why is the son not doing this for his wife? Mom is making a coffee for her husband, and she was nice enough to offer it to them. Why is the husband or the son not getting up and making coffee for his wife so that his mom doesn't have to deal with that? You guys are already in their house, and I'm pretty sure you're already in their house for free. I'm assuming on that one, but I think so. Someone comments and says, WTF, if someone asks you how you like your coffee, your options are milk, sugar, no sugar, strong, weak, middling, and maybe can I have a big cup? And if the person making you coffee just finished a night shift and you are putting you up for free, not the a-hole. They are so much. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't even drink coffee, and I know not to be doing all that extra stuff if someone is offering to make coffee, especially in the morning. Like, what are you talking about? You can go and pay $7, $8, $9, $10 at Starbucks for your fancy coffee, but she doesn't want to do that, okay? And I'll do one more comment that is replying to the comment that we just read, saying, right, that extra stuff is things I pay for at a coffee shop. If I'm a guest, I accept creamer, milk, and thank you to the host. Send Emily's instruction to your son. Here is Emily's coffee order. Your turn to try to make it. He probably will then be singing a different song, right? Definitely. I agree. Not the a-hole. Mother-in-law tried to be nice. I agree with that last comment. That's something that you go and you pay extra for at the coffee shop, and nobody is making that at home unless you are a barista, right? So why are they doing that to mom? I don't know. Let's see what the YouTube comments have to say. Kimmy says, as they say, fish and relatives both stink after a few days, but only a couple of days, and they have to go through a renovation on their house to fix whatever the flood damage. And this is already not off to a good start. It's not looking very well for them. Destined to Be says, nah, girl, nah, I wouldn't make her a dang thing. I wouldn't even offer anything else. No dinner, no nut, no breakfast, no anything. You want me to do all of this extra stuff. When I'm offering you coffee or breakfast, you don't get to put in special orders. You're just going to have whatever my husband is having. So I'll make the basic of the coffee. I'll make enough for you, and you add what you need to it. That's what I would do. She was lucky that mom even offered that. Destined to Be says, time to have a convo about your rules and their expectations. Exactly. They just moved in and thought that you were going to be their maid. Like, what's going on? Destined to Be says, in a hotel, they're getting regular coffee, and they might not even have the creamer and the sugar for you, right? Kimmy says, I wish the daughter-in-law commented with some mess for our entertainment. She says she sent it to them. I don't see anyone saying, I'm the daughter-in-law, I'm nothing. So we'll see. I don't think that's going to come up for us to find it. Destined to Be says, the daughter-in-law needs to be making something for the mom. Yes, as a token of appreciation. Like, why are you just freeloading? Not only are you freeloading, you then want her to make you $10 coffee every day instead of just going and getting up and making it yourself or going to buy it yourself. So yeah, I agree. She needs to be making dinner or something. Kimmy says, right. Or yeah, mom works overnight. Make her dinner or lunch so that she can take it to work. Kimmy says, right to Destined to Be. I can't imagine acting like that as a guest in someone's home, especially for an entire month. And it's like, okay, even if she didn't know the common courtesy of, oh, if you want coffee, how do you want it at someone's house versus being at a freaking coffee shop? When the mother-in-law said no, she should have just accepted the no and be like, oh, okay, I thought you knew how to do that. my bad, I misinterpreted what you requested. I do like creamer and milk or whatever it is, right? She should have backed down immediately. But for her to double down and then have her husband berate his own mother about this, like, this girl is off her rocker, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. What y'all have, y'all let me know. So we got, am I the a-hole for making my daughter, or for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I am not a barista? I think she was completely in line, and the vote is 100% no. Someone else is the a-hole. I definitely agree with that. This daughter-in-law needs to, kind of get a grip. You're already in a bad position. Someone's already helping you out for free, and for you to just kind of give a little attitude about that, yeah, she should have backed down immediately. I don't even know why she would even ask for something like that. Kimmy says, my teenage niece and cousin have more manners and common sense than that fully grown woman. Yeah, I don't even know where she would come up with that. This is my coffee order. Girl, this is a house. This is not a coffee shop. Why would you even think I know how to make foamed milk? How do you even make foamed milk? Why would she know how to do that? And why would she want to do that after getting off of work? Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. So I'm glad everybody was on the same page with that one. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. We won't have Bossy Bree. She was on vacation. We do not want to overwork her. Okay. So next one is, am I the a-hole for banning alcohol at Christmas? Because we know people like to get lit on Christmas, and they definitely like to get lit when they're at your house. So am I the a-hole for banning alcohol on Christmas? My husband's family likes to drink. Every holiday includes multiple bottles of wine and cocktails. I hate drinking. I have never drank. My father was an alcoholic. I think it's childish if you can't have fun without drinking. This year, I'm hosting Christmas for a change, and I decided since it's at my house, no alcohol allowed. We are all getting older, and it's time to grow up. Like I said in the title, my house, my rules. So no alcohol at this lady's Christmas party. But what's a Christmas party without the option of a shot? No, that's what these people are feeling like, right? So my husband's sister called to ask what she could bring. She saw a recipe for a Christmas martini that she wanted to bring. I told her about my no alcohol rule. So you didn't send this out with the invite. She had to call and talk to you, and then you told her there was no alcohol. She didn't say much, but must have told the rest of the family. Some of them started texting me, asking me if I was serious and saying that it is lame, but I'm not budging. Now it turns out my husband's sister is hosting an alternate gathering that almost everyone is choosing to go to instead. I mean, you can't get mad. It's so disrespectful, all because they would have to spend one day sober. On the holiday, though. They don't have to go to your Christmas party. She says, my husband told me he talked to his sister and we are invited to her gathering, and he said we should just go and stop causing issues, but I won't. It's so rude. They need to learn how to punctuate or put punctuation in their freaking writing. Now my husband is mad because I'm making him stay home and spend Christmas with me, but it was my turn to host and I chose to have no alcohol, and they could have dealt with it for 1 year. I don't know. This one is a tough one, because for me, you're dealing with adults, and adults have the right to make decisions and not to come to your party. If they think your party is going to be lame, they don't have to go. Just like if they think your vacation or your party is going to be too expensive for them, they don't have to go. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards OP is the a-hole here, because it's easy for you when you're going to someone else's party just not to drink alcohol if that's not what you want to do. But if everyone at the party wants to get lit and you don't, why would they come to your house? Why would they choose to have a sober party if they don't have to? If they don't have to. I don't know. It sounds bad because it kind of makes you sound like an alcoholic for saying that OP is the a-hole, but it's also like these are grown adults. They can decide if they want to get lit on Christmas. And it's a holiday. It would be different if it was just a random family get together, or maybe even OP's birthday, but freaking Christmas, Thanksgiving, a family holiday where people are coming to try to have a good time and relax, and not saying you need alcohol to relax and things, but some people like to do that. It sounds kind of alcoholic to say OP's Elise the a-hole. So let's see what the Reddit comments have to say. If you guys are watching on the live stream, make sure you are dropping in the comments what your thoughts are, and then we'll get to you, and then we'll also jump into the poll. Make sure you guys are voting in the poll, letting me know what you think. So we got a comment saying, do I need alcohol to have a good time? No. Do I need alcohol to have a good time if I have to deal with people who brag about how they don't need alcohol to have a good time? Absolutely. Yeah. She's kind of like putting off this thing of, oh, I'm higher and mightier than you because I don't drink alcohol. And my thing is like, your house, your rules. People don't have to come to your house. You don't have to go to OP. They don't have to go to your house. Your house, your rules. That's fine. I won't bring alcohol to your house, but I also will not be going to your house for Christmas. Like, what are you talking about? Somebody comments under that and says, best way to word it. I have a friend who is great now, but a real holier than thou attitude in college about alcohol and couldn't grasp for years how people stopped inviting them to things, not because they didn't drink, but because they couldn't shut up about how they didn't need to drink to have fun. But also there was another post where it was a girlfriend trying to show people you can have fun without alcohol with her on Thanksgiving, snapping at her boyfriend for drinking on a different day. So I feel like this is a new troll trend. Maybe it's a trend, maybe it's trolling, but like I said, on a holiday, different story. On her birthday, complete sense, right? Complete sense. If she wants to have a sober birthday party, makes complete sense. But for a family holiday, with adults, I don't know. Someone else comments and says, had she said several get drunk, they break things, throw up, get into fights, I'd be on her side. But just because they want to have a few drinks, she wants to ban it, then gets butthurt people don't want to go to her house. F around and find out. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be fun because you're going to be probably trying to check if people are taking shots in their car to freaking deal with your nonsense. I don't know. Someone else says, I would need to have a drink to interact with OP. Not going to lie. That's what I'm saying. It's like your party is probably going to be boring and it's going to make people feel like they need to drink. And then now they're the alcoholics. Okay. Someone says, I don't drink every day and I don't drink too much, but I do love drinks. I like wine and beer and whiskey and cocktails. I don't drink sodas or sugary juices and teas. I don't like the taste. I am not used to having sugar and now I don't like it. So I usually have water on the weekends and the holidays. What are you saying? The beauty of, okay, I'm like, get to the point. They say the beauty of being an adult is that nobody is obligated to do things. Nobody's obligated. You do things you don't like to drink. You shouldn't drink, but you can't make people do things. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. They do not have to go to your house. And that's what they chose to do. Hey, your party's not going to be lit, okay? Your party's not going to be fun, okay? And you're going to be policing whether we're drinking or not. I don't want to go there. I want to be able to be an adult and make my own decisions, okay? Let's see. We got one more, and then we'll jump into YouTube comments. And it says, she made the decision without discussing it with her husband, it seems, and he wants to go with his family, and she isn't letting him. I get her not liking alcohol, but people like to drink at Christmas, even if it's the only time a year that they drink. Exactly. And they don't have to go. And it doesn't seem like she even told people. So what's she going to do? Just have people come to her house and when they came in with a bottle, she was going to be like, nah, no alcohol. Like she just happened to say it to the sister over the phone. And the sister clearly was confused because why would she have brought up the fact of wanting to bring a drink if she knew this was a thing to begin with? So I don't know. I feel like she tried to trick them. And honestly, if they would have known that she was doing, what the heck? Oh, I think Kimmy made a comment. I was like, wait a minute, how did I comment? But where was I going? It seems like they wouldn't have even picked her house to have the party at if they knew that she was going to be being a stickler about what kind of fun they could have, right? But no, it doesn't seem like they are breaking things or causing a ruckus. They just like to loosen up a little bit. Maybe they do cause a ruckus. I don't see any comments from OP saying that they are rambunctious or anything like that when they drink. So if I was the husband, I would probably go to my friends or my family's Christmas party because she's probably going to make it miserable. Okay. Like I said, she can have a sober birthday party. Let's see what YouTube comments have to say. Destined to be says, dang, the sis could have, it on another day. Maybe, but it's a holiday. It's a holiday. They're trying to do it. Doesn't to be said, I say everyone is. It's tough. And my thing is, I don't think the people knew. If they knew this was how she was going to throw the party, like I said, it sounds like her husband drinks. So there would be no reason for them to think that they wouldn't be able to drink. And so I feel like she kind of tricked them. It was like, oh yeah, we could do the party at my house, and then kind of sprung it on them. Mind you, she didn't tell everybody. She just told the sister. Okay. It was going to be a shock of soberness at this party. I would say everyone is. Like I said, it sounds bad to say that people should be able to drink, but also it's like they're adults. They're adults. Destiny B says mostly OP. I have to agree. Mostly OP is the A-hole. Boss Attorney Bree going rogue, saying I went back and forth between everyone and no one is the A-hole. OP can make whatever rules she wants for her house, and the family can choose not to attend if they don't like them. That's what I think. If that's what she wants to do, great. But that doesn't mean people have to come to your party. And if it's her birthday, yeah, let's have a sober birthday party or like a game night. We can have a sober game night. But Christmas, when everybody was planning on getting lit, yeah, don't be surprised when people don't want to come to your party late. Kimmy says, OMG, of course I would impersonate you on the first live back. Exactly. Rogue Bree is back. Okay. Kimmy says, I, as in Kimmy, not Bree, went back and forth in the comment that we just read. Yeah, I agree. It's a tough one because it does sound kind of alcoholic to say people should be able to drink. But also it's like, it's your house, your rules. I don't have to go to your house. That's where I'm at with it. Kimmy says, it'd be one thing if it was OP's birthday. Yes, agreed. Birthday or casual family gathering, but nothing, but trying to impose rules on how adults spend their holidays is a little much. Exactly. And to tell your husband he can't go. Maybe she needs to talk to her husband about his drinking and everything, but she doesn't need to impose it on his family. Like, that's a little bit insane. So we actually got a couple of votes coming in and they're differing opinions, okay? So we got 33% saying yes, OP is the a-hole. We got 33% saying no, nobody is the a-hole. And we have 33% saying yes, everyone is the a-hole here. I don't know. I think OP is the a-hole because she can't control that people don't want to come to her party. And I honestly think the way that the story was told, she didn't tell them that this was her plan. If she had told them, hey, if we do it at my house, there's no alcohol, I guarantee you nobody would have voted to do it at her house to begin with. If that's what they wanted to do, right? But like I said, if it was her birthday party or a kid's birthday party or a baby shower, maybe, I don't know, then people probably would be more chill with it. But if every Christmas everyone gets lit and there's drinking games and whatever, why would they want to go to your party? It's not a party, okay? To them, it's not a party. I don't know. I think it sounds bad, but her house, her rules, but people don't have to go to her house. I think that's my conclusion on this one. Her house, her rules, but people don't have to follow her rules. Now, her birthday, different story. Okay. That one was a little tough. I feel kind of bad for saying that she's the a-hole, but it is what it is. And honestly, the family didn't, sorry, y'all, they didn't plan it behind her back or anything. They told her, like, hey, we're not coming, but you're welcome to come to our party. Well, actually, no, I think the husband called the sister and she told him, it's like, but you guys are welcome. Because she doesn't have to drink, but I also understand not wanting to be around drunk people too. Because that can be annoying. I've been there before where you're not drinking and somebody else is, and you be like, girl, what are you talking about? I get that too. Let's see. Kimmy says, I wonder if she hadn't told the family because she planned to wait until the last minute so they couldn't plan something else. That's what I think. That is literally what I think, because I think she just said it to the sister in passing and the sister spread the word. I think they were going to show up with the bottles and she was going to toss all them bottles in the trash as soon as they got to the door. Destiny B says, you can't even spike the eggnog or hot chocolate. No, you can't do nothing around this lady. No martinis, no nothing. She did not want any alcohol in her house, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. But people do not have to come. Does nobody want to go to your dry party? Kimmy says, not telling the family combined with the wording of making her husband stay home and saying the family could have dealt with it makes me think OP is the a-hole in general. I think so too. She also said, what did she say? They could have dealt with it for 1 year, but it's like you didn't even tell them. Okay? They should do it to where it's like, okay, whoever has the best party idea, that we vote, and that's whose house we go to. Like, I don't know if you guys seen those Instagrams or whatever, like whoever plans the best vacation and then they all vote on it. Something like that. If she would have told them this was going to be a dry Christmas, they probably wouldn't have agreed to it in the first place. Yeah, so she said they did something else, alternate gathering. It's disrespectful. They can't spend 1 day sober. I'm sorry. Let me move on. We got one more story. Oh, yeah, perfectly within an hour. Okay. So, would I be the a-hole? This is the last story, y'all. Would I be the a-hole if I started locking our bedroom door in the mornings? Okay, so we got crazy fridge people. We got people hiding olives. We got people not wanting an alcohol Christmas, all kind of things. One more, my house, my rules. Would I be the a-hole if I started locking my bedroom door in the morning? So my husband and I are on different sleep schedules. He tends to go to bed around midnight or 1 a.m. and wake up around 7 a.m. I don't go to bed until 4, 5, sometimes 6 a.m. and tend to sleep until around noon, which is a crazy schedule. She says, I'm aware my sleep schedule is horrible, but until I get it fixed, this is what I'm dealing with. The issue is my husband will routinely come into the bedroom and talk to me while I'm trying to sleep. It's never anything important and definitely nothing time sensitive that couldn't wait until I was awake. He comes back into the room every 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes to make some random comments, sometimes to ask me a random question. Sometimes he'll walk in and just stand in the doorway staring at me. Maybe he wants you to get a better sleep schedule. I've told him before that it feels like a passive-aggressive attempt to annoy me into getting up, and that it results in me already being irritated before I get up. If I even get up, before I even get up for the day. His response was, that's not how he means it, so it's fine. This morning, he sent our Roomba into the bedroom when I was still sleeping, and the thing roared and banged around in there for an hour. Would I be the a-hole if I started locking the bedroom door after my husband gets up so I can finish sleeping? There's a second bathroom he can use. It's the one he primarily uses anyway, so I wouldn't be cutting him off from the only bathroom or anything. This way I can finish sleeping without becoming irritated at him first thing in the morning, and he can stop wandering in for no reason. I don't know if it's just an ingrained habit at this point or if he was really trying to annoy me into getting up, but he hasn't stopped despite me asking. So, am I the a-hole? That's a tough one. Why is that her sleep schedule? That's where I'm at. I'm like, why is that your sleep schedule? Do you work at night? She didn't say anything about working. So it sounds like she may be a stay-at-home wife, and this is just me speculating. A stay-at-home wife that sleeps in and goes to sleep at a crazy hour. This seems like a weird relationship. She has some edits and says, since so many people keep asking me why my sleep schedule is so messed up, I'll put it here. I'm disabled and have chronic pain. Okay, now I feel like a a-hole. So I go and lie down before I'm actually tired. I just end up lying there in pain. It's resulted in my sleep schedule getting pushed back later and later. Not ideal, but also not something I can just fix. And now I'm kind of on OP's side. You should have put that in at the beginning as to why your sleep schedule was like that, because that completely shifts things for me. And the husband is probably actually making the disability and the chronic pain worse for OP by not letting her get enough sleep. Okay. They go on to say, I do not work. My husband is technically still employed, but is transitioning out and burning through his time off before he gets out. And he only goes into the office once every other week. Many people are pointing out that maybe my husband is lonely. That's a lot of hours that we could be spending together, etc. We're together literally all day, nearly every day. He only goes to work once every 2 weeks, and even that is only 3 to 4 hours at a time. We spend the rest of the time less than 10 feet away from each other. We have plenty of time together. The few hours in the morning when I'm asleep is the most time we spend apart. But we also have to remember that he's going to bed around, what time is he going to bed? Okay, midnight, 1 a.m. And then she gets up at noon. Okay, 12 hours. That's not bad. That's as if both of them had a job. So that's actually not bad time apart. So I think the chronic pain thing changes it for me. I think the husband is being the a-hole and potentially making her more ill by not letting her sleep enough. So let's see what Reddit comments have to say, and then we'll jump into the YouTube comments. If she was just like being lazy, I might have some other questions, but this one, it sounds like she has a legitimate excuse and the husband should be more accommodating to her. So let's see what the comment says. They say you could lock the door, but it's not going to help because he will just knock on the door to get you to answer him. The problem is the lack of respect he has for you. That is true. And I'm like, I don't know any house, and maybe they have an older house, but I don't know any house where you can't just like literally put a freaking paper clip in the lock and just unlock it and go back in there at this time. Maybe there are locks like that these days, but how would he not go and find a key or something to kind of unwiggle the lock? And if you start locking the door, he might just take the door handle off the door and then you'll be in the same predicament to begin with. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to help her. I think this commenter is right on point in saying that he's going to find a way to get back in that room regardless of what you try to, regardless of if you lock it. Someone comments under that and says, this exactly. Not everyone is on the same sleep schedule, and OP's husband knows she's struggling with chronic pain and is pestering her when she's trying to sleep, which is already difficult for someone that's in pain as it is. Not the a-hole OP. You deserve to be able to rest without having him come in to ask random questions or to try to wake you up. He sounds immature and I fully agree that he's being disrespectful. I have to agree with that. Especially, he knows what's wrong with his wife. He knows exactly what's wrong with her. And the fact with her saying that he's about to stop working too, I wonder if they're like an older couple and they've been together for like years and years and years. Someone else comments and says, does your husband resent your sleep schedule? It sounds to me like he's passive aggressively telling you that he wants you to be getting up earlier than you are. No judgment here. I'm a night owl too. OP says, he says he's not doing it to be passive aggressive. He just doesn't mean to wake me up. He knows that you're in there sleeping, but he's coming in the room and he's talking to you. That would piss me off. That would really piss me off. But he also hasn't stopped, and he doesn't mean to wake me up. I'm not sure what he thinks he's doing when he walks in and starts talking to me while I'm asleep. Exactly. You're literally waking me up. Okay? Someone else says, not the a-hole, especially if you've asked him to stop and he won't. That's the other thing. She did ask him to stop and he says he doesn't mean it like that, so he just continues to do it. Like, stop taking it as me waking you up when I'm actually waking you up. Like, dude, I'm telling you, you're waking me up. Like, what are you talking about? No matter if you mean it like that or not, that is what you're doing. Not the a-hole, especially if you ask him to stop and he won't. The people asking why OP sleeps like this needs to chill. There's nothing inherently good about going to bed early or getting up early, nor is there anything inherently bad about being a night owl. Left to my own devices, that's the sleep schedule that feels natural to me. As long as OP isn't neglecting work/household duties, there's no reason to say the sleep schedule warrants the husband being an a-hole. Would you all say the same if OP walked in 10 minutes after he went to bed and started chatting with him over nothing? Exactly. If she did the opposite when he was trying to go to bed at night, bothering him until he woke up in the morning, probably not, right? Last comment, and then we'll jump into YouTube comments saying, not the a-hole. I don't understand all the comments about your sleep schedule. It literally doesn't matter what time you go to sleep or what time you wake up unless it's impacting your work or your mental health. Your partner is doing something that stops you from getting restful sleep, period. You know what's important when you have chronic pain? Sleep. Exactly. That's what I said. It's probably making her chronic pain worse for her not getting enough sleep. If you told this exact same story, but you were going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m., everyone would be pissed at him. Exactly. That is true. It's the timing that she's going to sleep. And it could potentially be that her sleep schedule keeps getting pushed back because he keeps doing the nonsense that he's doing. And then, like, why would you want to create a environment where your wife is already angry and y'all are in the house with each other 24/7 other than 3 to 4 hours every 2 weeks? Like, why would you create that kind of situation? And I can relate to this because my husband and I, we work opposite schedules, and like literally I'll get ready in the morning in dang near in the dark just so that the light doesn't shine on him. I could potentially get ready at some point we did get ready in different bathrooms. So we just kind of do what works for us. This guy is definitely being a dick by sitting there and talking to her, literally talking to her while she's sleeping and then saying, oh, I'm not trying to wake you up. Literally, you're trying to have a conversation with me while I'm sleeping. How are you not trying to wake me up? Oh my gosh. Let me see where we are with the comments. Destiny B said, I would have cussed him out. He wouldn't even want to talk to me anymore. Right. Go ahead and get rid of you. Kick you out the house. Then there would be no waking you up to be done. Kimmy says, even if OP wasn't disabled, there's no reason for her husband to constantly disrupt her sleep. He's an inconsiderate a-hole at best and an intentional a-hole at worst. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you because, like I said, my husband and I, we work opposite schedules, and like we don't have like a door on our bathroom. It's like one of those cutouts instead of a door, which I want to put a barn door there. But besides the point, I would just like turn on the light in the toilet room in our bathroom. It's enough light for me to get ready, shower, brush my teeth, whatever. And then when I start doing like my eyebrows and stuff, then that's when I'll turn on the light that I need to actually see. I don't like the bright light in the morning anyways, because it's like it's lighter now when we wake up, huh? Because the time has changed. But either way, no, you shouldn't be purposely waking up. I don't sit there and talk to him. I don't sit there and do those kind of things. I try to not disturb him. So I agree with you, Kimmy. Destined to Be says, as someone with chronic pain and talks to people with it on a regular, I know sleep is one of the best things for healing the body. Exactly. And like I said, him waking her up earlier than she wants to be waking up. She says sometimes she goes to bed at 4, 5, 6 in the morning. It sounds like it keeps getting pushed back because he keeps waking her up before she has had enough rest. So I agree. Kimmy Locker says you could get a shower rod and curtains as an in-between solution. That is true. I never thought about that. That is true. It might look a little crazy though. It might look a little crazy. I'm gonna get my barn door. It's I already have the idea. I just haven't looked into it enough to get it done. I should do that. But also a curtain, that it would be a cheap and convenient fix. But then also the door frame is really tall. So I don't know if it would go long. Oh, I could just do it as a sheet. Huh. That might work. There's curtains out there. There are, because everyone are doing like those ceiling to floor things, huh? You're right. You're right. Because I have that downstairs actually. I literally have that downstairs for my what do you call it? Slider door for the back patio. You're right. You are right. Kimmy says there's even soundproof. They have soundproof curtains. I know they have blackout curtains, but soundproof? I never thought. The curtain might actually work. Now that you're giving me a lot of ideas, that might actually work, and it might not look as bad as I'm thinking it's gonna look. Destined to Be says my brother has a barn door in his bathroom. Yeah, it has to be like one of those foldable, collapsible ones, not the sliding ones, because like the TV is in the way. Why are we home decoring right now? Home renovation. Yeah, no, I want like the little foldable, or I guess it's more like a what is that thing called? I keep wanting to say a unicorn, but that's not what it's called. What is it called? That little accordion. Is it called an accordion? I don't know. I might be lying. Kimmy says, what better stream to home decor on? Exactly. That's true. And Kimmy says accordion. Okay, I thought I made that word up. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get into the vote. We got, would I be the a-hole if I started locking our bedroom door in the mornings? We got 100% saying no, someone else is the a-hole. I agree. I don't think locking the door would actually help her, because I think he would just find a way to get in there anyways, even if that means taking off the door the next day, right? And then it'll just continue to be a problem, a worse problem than it already is. I think she needs to either, get him to understand, or I don't know, she can't beat him up. I don't know what she can do, but I don't think locking the door is going to be the solution, but also don't think she would be the a-hole if she starts locking the door. And I'm just thinking he's going to figure out a way to get in there, whether she wants him in there or not. So it sucks. And it sucks that she's been telling him that it's a problem and he's not paying attention to her. I think that's the worst part of it all for me. Yeah. So that was y'all. My house, my rules. My house, my rules. I think that was kind of an interesting one. Stories kind of was all over the place, but it was an interesting one. As you guys know from the beginning of the stream, or if you weren't in the beginning of the stream, I have been MIA for a little bit. I think I am on more of a consistent schedule now, and we'll continue to try to do our Thursdays at 7 p.m. As you can see, my background is a little crazy right now. I am splitting this between working from home section and also streaming section. So I got to get my decor back in place to have us a nice little background. And yeah, thank you guys for joining in the live stream, supporting the channel as always. I will see y'all all on the next live stream. I'm going to try to get some shorts out. I've been super lazy. I know. I have some pre-recorded. I just need to edit and put them up. So I know I've been lazy, but I appreciate everyone for supporting and still checking the channel out, y'all. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and I hope everyone is preparing for the holidays, whether you want to get lit or not. Unlike that one OP, I hope everyone is going to have a wonderful holiday season. I will see y'all all on the next live stream and hopefully get some shorts up over the weekend or within the next week or so. And yeah, I'm rambling, so I'm going to hop off the live stream. See y'all all on the next one. Bye.